Well, hey everybody, welcome to Tough Topic Thursday. Everybody in the house. Let me restart this chat so I make sure I can see everybody. Um, I didn't sleep well last night at all, so I'm kind of dragging ass today. So I may not be my usual vibrant and crazy self, but I will do my best. Hello everyone, good to see you. Today we're going to talk about body shaming and what is the goal when guys do this kind of stuff and talk to women all crazy. It was kind of interesting. I was reading some things online, and I had this girl's video that I was going to um, to show you, but I didn't get back home in time. And I'm telling you, I'm just like, I had 10 minutes to do what your slide you saw and get all of this ready. Serious CP time. But I was really trying to start on time and not start, 10 or 15 minutes late. So I had to leave, it's a streamlined version of what I had in mind. But we're here, and hold on, I forgot to get my stuff off the printer that I need. Okay, here we go. Everybody sent in their body shaming stories, and I wanted to make sure that I, copied them into a document so I could read them to you. So, but I forgot to get them off the printer. Thank you. Oh, so nice. Just thank you for being who I am. That's really nice. It's nice to see people appreciate me instead of cussing my ass out. Because that's what usually happens. It's like, you heifer, you demon spawn, you witch, you're just a man-hating bitch, you're this, you're that. That's what I usually hear. Not that it bothers me, but it's always nicer to hear nice things than it is to, hear crappy things about yourself. So let's talk about this now. Women shared their stories of body shaming, and I found so many things online. It's like, do men do anything else except try to shame women? Now, you guys know how many times have I talked about the fact that they always are trying to get the upper hand. So when a man, even something as simple as, okay, first I'm jumping around here, but let me just start with, okay, as black women, we get shamed not only for our femininity, our female things, we get shamed because of our blackness. Now, what does that mean? People say, well, okay, you get shamed because your hair is the wrong texture. Your hair is too short. Your hair is too wild. It's too you need to be straight. Or no, they don't like straight hair. They want it to be natural. Or no, they don't like natural hair. They like it to be a weave. Or because you're wearing a weave, or because you're wearing it natural, or because you straighten your hair. All of those things are wrong. If you don't have any kids and you're 35 years old, you're a selfish bitch, and you self-absorbed, and you don't have any kids, and something's wrong with you. But if you do have a kid and you happen to not have a husband because maybe he died like mine, or maybe he's in jail. He did something stupid. Maybe he died. So I mean, got killed in some. He was involved in some bullshit, and whatever. He's in the service, whatever. You're still raising your kids as a single parent. They shame you about that too. Oh, then if you're too skinny, you get shamed because you don't have a body like a quote regular black woman. But you can't be too fat because then you go from thick to fat to plump to fat, and then something's wrong with you then, and your legs is too this and that. I mean, it's like it's this never-ending criticism of women, what they look like, what they wear, makeup or not, hair or not. I mean, whatever you do, is somebody is going to try to body shame you. Well, yes, we do have some women that do that too. They do it to each other, but I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about the men that do it, because the overwhelming number of women who learned it from men. They learned that how that can intimidate people and make them feel bad, and like knock them off their pedestal that they quote think that you're on. They say you think that you're on it, but really they think that you're on it because you haven't you they perceive you to be better at whatever, look better, have a better weight, better size, look better in clothes, have a better man, whatever it is, than what they are, and so then they want to shame you. Dudes will do the same thing because they want to like try to put you down so that you put down your dude so that you'll leave that dude and he'll think he have a chance. People are always trying to manipulate and control your mind and make you feel bad about who you are, what you wear, what you do. I mean, even like your job, or this is the newest one. Women get shamed because they make too much money. Oh, man can impress you because you make too much money. You too strong. You think you all that. You don't need a man. I'm telling you, when I started really thinking about this, we were going to try to talk about body shaming, but when I started really thinking about it, it's like every single communication they have with us is some kind of shaming going on. Some kind of shaming tactic where they're trying to make you feel bad about yourself. Why do they do that? Because they have the self-esteem that's in the fucking toilet, and they don't want you to be too happy. Now we noticed that. Where was I? I forgot. But anyway, I was looking at some pictures of men who were like murderers, right? They had done in their women, their girlfriend and wives. So I'm looking at all the pictures of these dudes, and in each one of the pictures, the women just looked happy and joy filled, and it's like this light emanates from them. And then you see the dudes, dark, hideous. Like their eyes are empty, like they have no soul in there. Like there's like, hello, nobody's home kind of look to their eyes. And basically, what you have is that kind, so jealous of your brightness, your light, your joy, that they don't want you, they say they just can't stand that you have it. So they do everything that they can to eliminate it and to make you feel as dark and worthless and miserable as they do. That's what's really going on. So I want to put that out there because I don't want women. Oh, excuse me. See, this is why I didn't sleep well last night for some reason. I think I'm coming down with something because I was coughing and all congested. So I'm a struggle through because I'm a soldier. Yeah, it's worse than a dark cloud. They're like some Eeyore motherfuckers just walking around, just looking stupid, and they just can't stand when you're happy. I actually had a guy that I know we were supposed to go on a date. We never actually went because he said this to me. I saw him, just happened to run into him at Barnes and Noble when it was, downtown. And I was like, oh, what's going on? How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, what you so happy about? And sometimes you think people are just doing it because they're teasing you because you just be like doing the most, as they used to say. You doing too much. But then when I stopped and I looked at his miserable looking face, I thought, wow, why was I even thinking about going anywhere with this fool? He looks crazy. I just was like, well, I'm so happy like that because I'm still vertical and I'm breathing and it's a nice day. I'm enjoying myself. At least I was up until the time I saw you. Thinking, motherfucker, you think you gonna get me trapped outside in your car in some place with your miserable ass? I don't think so. Yeah, you do. I think most of us do. There's like a group of women here, and our new ladies, they're probably kind of got a little darkening going on because they're still under the influence of nignoggery and niggaliciousness. But by you hang out here, they call this the squad. You can't help but lighten and brighten yourself because these women are gonna bring your spirit up. They're gonna make you feel so great about yourself that you won't you no nigga will have an opportunity to even talk to you, even get into your zone. That's the environment that we create here, one of enrichment and support and encouragement. And every once in a while, somebody who will wander in here who doesn't quite fit that description, but they usually find their way right back out because they just don't, they get talked to pretty bad. But in general, if you come here to be a better woman, to learn, to become empowered, and to get yourself back on track, relationship wise and self love wise, you're in the right spot. So you will find that here. But one thing we do not tolerate is knuckleheads. So if you want to come here with knuckleheadedness, you're in the wrong spot for that. So let's talk about. I'm going to share some of the stories that came in, and thank you guys, for ladies rather, for coming through with the stories because I bet, girl, I got all kind of conjugations of nigga. I could use that as a base word and create my own dictionary. I'm telling you, I have dozens of them. But earlier this afternoon, I was thinking, I was like, okay, I don't have any stories. I mean, nobody's telling me stories here. What is I'm gonna do when I get on the air? I want to tell stories that are, personal stories of women who have dealt with this topic. That's how I like to do it. I mean, I could find some online, which I did, but I would rather it be women who are around here, that come around here sharing their stories. So I'm not going to use nobody's name. I'm just going to say, the first letter of their name. So we have this one from Miss J. She says, I thought I might share my body experience with you. I wasn't really dating this guy, but I really, really liked him. He was kind and educated, not to mention fine. I mean, I thought I was truly lucky to even be in his presence. But I never asked him what a guy like him would ever want with a girl like me. He was East African. Up! Once you say that, we already know the niggaliciousness is on its way. Okay, so he played basketball overseas. Me just being an average biracial girl, we met online, started seeing each other almost daily for weeks. He started asking me if I like girls and what type of stuff I was into. What? I said I'm not into girls. I never have been. He stated to tell me his past and how much he enjoyed threesomes. I knew it. Once you said African, it was gonna be over. It never stuck in my mind that he was still doing that because he was over my home a lot and it always ended in relations. He started acting like that wasn't enough and started asking about if I had friends and got mad that I wasn't into it and said if I don't give him threesomes, he would go get it elsewhere. I was so hurt and confused. He finally convinced me to go with him to meet this woman and had the threesome. It was the worst night of my life. Everything about it seemed so disturbing. After that, he didn't want to see me and sent me at least 10 videos of him having threesome with other women. Texted me that night and he's about to have one and not with two fat bitches. My heart sank to the bottom of the ocean. I've never been the same since. Men can be very cruel when they don't get what they want. This was 3 years ago, but he still tries to reach out to me. I never answer. I wasn't a fat bitch when you used my body continuously and pretended to want something from me. I will never trust a man again, especially good looking men at that. Girl, what you have to do is not fuck around with nobody with an accent. I keep telling y'all. Yes, like, they got an accent unless it's from New York or like the South. Some shit that I can recognize. I don't fuck with you. You can't. You don't. No, no. I don't do the men from the continent. I don't do it. Now, yeah, this would have been a good advice letter to talk about because so I'm going to kind of branch to the side. This is when when guys start pressing you like that. This is what I was talking when I was explaining my video about having boundaries. You have to have the courage to stick to your boundaries. Just because he saw you every daily, that's when he's doing the hardcore press, what they call the full court press. That's what he was trying to do to get you to think that you was in this relationship because he was spending all his time with you. It's a mind game. He's grooming you, just like they do kids for molestation. But that's why you as a woman put the brakes on. You say he want to see you every day. You say no. He want to be up under you all the time. You say no. I have other things to do. You stretch that shit out, especially when you just meet them. They don't need to see you more than twice a week, and make sure they understand that. And then you have your boundaries. You said no. You're supposed to continue to say no. This is a typical nig knock tactic, but that well most men do because they're narcissistic. This is a tactic they use. They keep asking you, asking you, asking you, asking you, asking you, asking you. So it's like they're trying to beat you down into saying yes. And it works with 90% of the women. The other 10% of us is such a bitch, we don't give a fuck. And before you ask me again, when I already told you, no, I'm going to cuss your ass out. And then I'm disconnecting you from all contact with me because I said no. You need to understand what no means. And so, you got to have that kind of courage, young lady. You got to have that kind of courage and so that this doesn't happen nothing even remotely like this happens. You can not the same thing, but where you say no to a man and he acts like he ain't trying to hear it, he gonna keep asking you anyway. You have to tell him that this is enough of this. I want you out of my life. Don't you just get away from me. You don't let them convince you to do some shit that you didn't want to do. So I mean, it's unfortunate that happened, but yeah, that's what they do. He feel like he convinced you, and even though that's what he wanted, and you liked him, so you gave it to him. He doesn't respect you for it, and then they gonna try to shame you. Typical knucklehead. Okay, this Miss R. I have been body shamed all my life, and I'm over 40. not only by men but also female associates and coworkers. I'm always told my butt is small and I don't have hips. The women laugh and tease me. I just say whatever and keep it moving. My ex-husband never complimented me on my body. He rarely touched me. He touched the most important things. I have two grown children to prove it, but it was never a tender caressing of my body. The man I'm into with now after my divorce says mean things to me about my body too. He has told me I'm shaped like a 12-year-old boy. Oh, wow. When we argue, he calls me bad built. It makes me feel very insecure. I'm hesitant to date because I know men don't like my body shape, so I'm not going to be treated as kindly as a shapely woman. I will be good enough to screw, but not taken out and shown a good time. I tend to ignore insults because I've gotten used to being teased. Oh, this is heartbreaking. I've thought about getting a BBL surgery. I'm thinking that probably means butt, boob, and something. To look better in my clothes, but I'm on the fence about having it done. I would love to know what it's like to be caressed and told that I look nice in a dress or skirt. And regardless of what anyone says about surgery, for a woman like myself who has always been feminine and felt prissy on the inside, but looks in the mirror and sees nothing feminine, is hard to accept. Oh my God. See, these dudes have done a real job on these women. Co-workers, I wish one of my co-workers would have said some shit to me. Only one I remember saying, she was saying something about, black women have a big butt, and she was saying it in this way like, it was a bad thing. And I just looked at her because she wasn't necessarily saying it about me. She was saying it to me, but it wasn't, it was like a general thing because she said black women, not you. But it didn't matter because I knew what she was doing. I said, well, I'm going to say this. That's why all the plastic surgery offices are filled up with white women trying to get fuller lips and bigger asses because you want to look like us. You doing everything you can. You spend money after money going to tanning salons, for instance. So from what I can see, you talking about we have a big butt and you standing like it's a bad thing, then every single white girl I know is trying to get one. So what you gonna say now? And I just looked at her. And so then she didn't fuck with me no more. The whole rest of the 3 years that I worked there. She avoided me. Like if she would see me coming down the hall, she would go like magically have, business in the other direction. I'm like, bitch, you got me twisted. You think that I don't know who she thought she was talking to, but I had to, help her get an understanding. She's not gonna say some shit like that to me. Oh, is that what that is? Oh, Brazilian, but thank you. See, I'm so out of it. I don't even know all the lingo. And this is very sad. But see, this is the kind of stuff now she's actually gotten used to being teased. Okay, the next letter. This is Miss L. Hi, Deb. This is my first time writing in, but I wanted to share my body shaming story. From 2009 to 2011, I was in a monogamous relationship with a much older man. I was 33 and he was 53. Oh my God, old fart. He was a retired police officer from Jamaica. Ugh, another man with an accent. Stop fucking with these men with an accent. I was a newly single, divorced single mom. He was only the second man besides my ex-husband that I'd ever been with. He would make negative comments about the way I dressed and the fact that I had children. He was Jamaican and would attribute his harshness to him being Jamaican. Whenever I told him that what he said hurt my feelings, he'd just say I need to grow a tougher skin. Of all the negative comments he made about me, the one that stung the most was his comment about my breasts. One night after we had just been intimate, I was sitting on the bed with no clothes on. He looked down and said, "Girl, you need to grow some more breasts." That comment hurt because we had been together almost a year and he never said anything about my breasts before. See, that's when you say, and you need to grow more dick so we even. Okay, I'm lacking and so are you, motherfucker. That comment hurt because we had been together. Okay, so I could change anything, everything else he complained about, but I couldn't grow more breasts. He was a jerk and I eventually dumped his ass, but the damage was done. For years after that, I obsessed over my breasts. Every woman I saw with bigger breasts made me think, I bet he'd like her. When I dated other men, I never let them see my chest. I bought the fake slip-ins from Target to increase my bust size. I was thinking of getting implants and everything. For 10 damn years, I was crazy about titties. Then finally, I came to my senses and said, you know what? Fuck y'all. This is me and fuck anybody that don't like it. I hate that it took you 10 years to get there, but, better late than never. Good for you. Yeah, I don't fuck. I'm telling you, any man with an accent is not for me. I mean, I understand you guys. Some of y'all like that, and you know, especially if you come from there. But you know, I know a lot of women that's from the Caribbean. I'm not gonna say Jamaica particularly because it's from different islands. They don't even want to fuck with those men. So I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do with them? I'm telling you, I would hurt his feelings right back. But see, that's how my mind works. You're not gonna say some fucked up shit to me and then think that you're gonna get away scot free. Cause right then I would have looked at his dick and said, "Yeah, well, yeah, what I just said," and then that would have been that, and his feelings would have been hurt. He would have got to see what it feels like. You telling me woman some shit like that after you just got some nasty fucker. He's Jamaican. Well, girl, you better watch out. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Miss A says, I've always been underweight. I never broke the 100-pound mark until I was pregnant at 25. Growing up was hard. Boys would always tell me, you'll be cute if you weren't so skinny. I got teased for everything, my hair, my clothes, you name it. My mom even told me I was too skinny to be a cheerleader or majorette. I still struggle with weight issues now that I'm 34 and 120 pounds. This is a brief summary, but guys really gave me a hard time. I spent my life feeling less than a woman since every guy I liked wanted my friends. Also, I realized that girls only want to be your friend if they want to be like you or feel you are no competition to them. Needless to say, I don't have a lot of female friends. One guy told me that since I'm black, I'm supposed to be built like Serena Williams. Tell him, well, you supposed to be built like The Rock. I don't see you without the. What you doing? You lagging, huh? Hop, hop. I've heard that a man will only spend money on someone who is thick. That's not true. Never got it. Needed a man to pay my bills, but it would have been nice. Girl, I don't believe that bullshit. Look at all these models. These chicks are built like fucking string beans. And what do they have? Husbands that have a lot of money. And so if you're very slim like that, then you need to get you with a white dude because they like that body style. You know, don't. I mean, my thing is just get in where you fit in. You know, get in with people that like what you are, like what you. So trying to be with black men who are brainwashed to think that black women are only supposed to have one body type, then you're gonna be constantly being like that square peg in a round hole thing. Lady bosses. Okay, I just have to say the women that come to my chats are kind of cray cray, but funny. You know, I'm telling you that this is the kind of stuff that women are dealing with this, you know, these men trying to hurt them by talking negatively about their body. And your body, I mean, you can get surgery, you know, but the risks are just way too high. And essentially, you know, what you look like, your body structure and all that stuff is genetic. You have no choice over that. You got big hips and stuff. Well, so did your great grandmother, your grannies, whatever. You know, I mean, it's all the luck of the draw. And you got, you know, two parents, and then those your parents get two parents. I mean, so you never know with all that pool of genes what you gonna look like, what's gonna happen there. People have come out, you know, they genes jump back four generations, and suddenly here's a kid with blue eyes, like they great grandfather who was white. You know what I mean? Shit happens. You just never know what you're gonna get. Genetics is the luck of the draw. But you know, there's no need to feel bad when these guys, you know, I know it stings. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it hurts. But, you know, if you're not going to be like me and fire back, then you leave those kind of men alone and you go and you find a man who likes what you have, what you are, you know. This is just making me just want to go up and down the street choking men. Okay, Miss Y. Hey, Miss Deb. I have been body shamed many times, too many to count. I'm tall and carry my weight mostly in my upper body. I'm not big, but I am not shapely, nor do I have a big butt. I have had literally, I have literally had a guy tell me I look disgusting because I am tall in my shape. I've had males tease me and constantly remind me that I have no ass. One time when I was younger and wore more revealing clothes, I dared wear a top with no bra. A male literally stopped his car to tell me I need to put a bra on with my saggy titties. I also remember a neighborhood block party where I was walking to the store with another girl and she asked this guy for $1 to buy ice cream. I asked him for one too. He gave it to her but not to me and told me if I looked as good as her, he would have given me one too. I have long suffered from depression due to family issues. If not for having inner strength and an appreciation of life, I would probably have committed suicide. I've always thought I was decent looking and didn't see anything wrong with not having a big butt. I knew I wasn't one of the prettiest, but never thought I looked bad enough to warrant those kinds of reactions and comments. They made me feel so ugly and inadequate, like I was less of a woman because I was tall and top heavy. Thank you for allowing me to share. You are welcome, and that is very unfortunate. And your friend is trifling because what she was supposed to do is get $2 out that motherfucker, not just one. He's giving up money, say, "Oh well, it costs more. I need another dollar." So you wouldn't have had to ask for nothing. Then she turn around and give it to you. That's how you play. That's how you pimp. And so somebody need to teach her how to. That's how you pimp men. You don't be just giving them. You don't ask them for. We ask them for double what you need. Always do that. That's my warning. Miss L. You needed a body shaming story, so here is one. I'll keep it short. I was in a 3-year relationship with my narc black ex boyfriend. I'm also black for context. He used to say a lot of messed up things, but I let most of it roll off my back or give it right back to him because I'm laid back and I don't like to argue. Plus, the living situation was beneficial to me. He paid most of the bills. I paid the electricity and the internet and sometimes bought food. We used to live together. At that time, I was 28, he was 31, and this happened in my third and last year of us being together. So one day I was getting ready to go visit my mother. I was putting on my underwear and he was looking at me and he was like, "Oh, look, Miss Denty Booty." I looked at him and said, "So what? Kiss my ass if you have no issue fucking this denty booty." There are plenty of men out there who would just pay to lick these denty ass cheeks. So get in line to kiss my ass and leave me alone. Oh, good for you. Needless to say, his tune changed and he started to praise me. However, I knew he was trying to be an asshole. So yeah, fuck him. I'm not super skinny and fit. I'm working on it, but I'm solid and look good in my clothes, and I don't have to wear Spanx or other shapewear. I don't know any black woman without any cellulite, skinny or fat. It took me a long time to feel comfortable in my body at any size. The eye-opening part about it is if I had low self-esteem, his comments would have stung real bad. And check this out. This motherfucker talking crazy to me was so pressed to marry me. I told him straight up, "Why would I marry you when you don't even know how to talk to me?" He said, "Oh, you don't know how to take a joke?" They always say that. So I told him it's not a joke, and I've told you many times to stop, but you never do because you don't give a shit. He wanted to tie me legally through marriage so he can abuse me verbally forever under the guise of love. Fuck out of here. Auntie Deb, I appreciate everything you do, and hopefully my story helps someone else like the other stories on your channel has helped me. Remember, ladies, love yourself and don't let these nignogs walk all over you. When they get out of line, put your foot on their neck and keep it there. Don't even let them up for air. The key is knowledge. I like how that ended. Yeah, you'd all be saying, "Oh, my bill, I need, $50 to pay this bill." No, you don't. You need $150 to pay that bill. You need $150, so you pay the bill with $50 and you put the other $100 in your emergency fund. So the next time something comes up, you will have the money. This is especially important for you single parents who have, things, and sometimes shit happens and the child's work don't come on time, but you still got to make your rent, you still got to keep them lights on, you got to get that heat on, stuff like that. So you have like a little extra cushion, and you do that shit every time he gives you some money. You get 50 to 100 extra dollars, and that's what they need to happen. All right. So then this next one says, um, "I know you asked for women, but I'm a male." What? My girlfriend was infatuated with men with six packs when we met. I had a good body, but not a six pack. We started dating, everything was cool. One day after a real nice date, while sitting in the car, she reached over and grabbed the side of my stomach. She looked at me and laughed out loud and said, "Your ass needs to get on the ground and do some sit-ups." I wasn't even overweight. I was so hurt. We continued to date, but it took a toll on me mentally. Whenever we had sex, I kept my shirt on. I was a wreck when it came to me taking off my shirt. The crazy part is that other women thought I looked good. In case you wonder, she was 38 and I was 25 at the time. It was a drain, to be honest. Wow. She, folks, say, she most likely she had some people say some crazy stuff to her, so she was dishing it back out. But he was kind of young, girlfriend. Come on now, really? And then this one, I was dating a guy who body shamed me. We were hanging out at his house. He mentioned that he had some snacks if I wanted any. When I later went on to get a cookie, he said, "Wow, you're such a fatty." I only grabbed one cookie, but at that point I didn't even want it. I was too through. And with the belly he has, I couldn't believe he had the nerve to say that. Men can be stupid and maybe he didn't mean anything by it, but wrong comment to make. I also dated a guy who said, "Wow, you're eating again? You're always eating." Shaking my head, and if I am, so what? I'm not overweight, and if I'm hungry and want a snack, biting us wrong with that. Oh my God, these men are too much. And just talking about somebody's belly. That girl, that was your opportunity to say, "Shut the fuck up, Santa." You got a lot of nerve talking about somebody eating one cookie. Y'all ass look like you done ate a fucking whole farm. You need to shut up. Oh my God, I have a terrible mouth. That's my problem. This is really disturbing that these guys would say this kind of stuff. And they do this thing about, are you really going to eat that? That seems to be a common thing. So what's now let's talk about yeah, he didn't feel comfortable to take off his shirt. But I mean, what do you want to do? Um yeah, it says here body shaming is not a new phenomenon for women. Looking no further than the comments made by our current president. Yeah, that's true. He makes derogatory remarks. He was just, over there mocking what's her name um, about her testimony for against Kavanaugh. Who does that? Especially the president of a country. What's wrong with you? Oh, that's better. What is wrong with you? You just can't possibly be any kind of leader. Um, And they say that body shaming is going to be difficult to fight because it's so deeply ingrained in our society. I mean, when I worked as a trainer, I can tell you too, the women used to come and they would body shame themselves. I've made each hour of training a critical free zone. I told her, if you say anything critical about yourself during this hour, the session's over and you still gonna pay me. And I made them sign a little contract that said that. I only had to do it twice. Stop the session mid because oh my thighs, my this and that. As soon as they said it, they could see my face looking. Oh, and they're like this. I said, okay, I'll see you next session. And they had already signed the thing, right? So they knew this was our agreement that you're not gonna do that. This hour is our time for positive thinking and positive words. And I made them stick to it by hitting them in the wallet like that. That was the only way they got their attention. So each person made a mistake one time, and then they do that shit no more. Who's thinking too deep? You triggered. Yeah, he's an asshole. Oh, Dr. Ford, yes. My mind, I'm thinking about too many things at one time. But yeah, I definitely remember Kavanaugh's name. Um, and then you look at the mass media and the culture, and you look at what's online uh, about women. These guys just have no shame, no problem at all about um, digging into women and talking about. I had an article here that I printed out somewhere. Where did I put it? About social media, women in social media, and this whole thing. Ah, shit, I don't know where I put it. Maybe I thought I printed it out and I just looked at it. I don't know. But here's another one. This one talks about um, body shaming in our society, 10 ways that society tries to body shame women. Everybody wants to be perfect. And everybody wants to get this plastic surgery. I mean, when my daughter was in high school, we lived in a pretty wealthy area, suburb of the San Francisco area. And like I said, it was like at the time, it was like a 1% black population. Everybody was white and they had money. So where she went, the school was a public school, but they had a curriculum and opportunities for the kids, like a high-end private school. That's why I moved to that area. So one thing that I noticed though is how many it started young with the girls being critical of themselves. And she was in high school, right? And there were already girls getting boob jobs because they wanted to look perfect. And what was amazing to me was the daddies was paying for it. Now, see, I had a problem with that. I'm like, okay, who does that? Why are you so worried about your daughter's titties? I just couldn't quite wrap my mind around that. And my daughter was talking about it, and I'm looking at her like, surely you aren't thinking about asking me to do some shit like that. And she's like, oh, no, mom, no, I'm just sharing with you what's going on at school. It's like everybody, all the girls are picking themselves apart, and they all are getting like, lipo and, these, boob jobs. And I'm like, lipo at 16, 17 years old? I mean, how, you don't have no fat yet. What are you talking about? No kid, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. No one wants to be shaped like the hunchback, but still nobody has the nerve to, men don't, especially men that don't know you. They don't have any business coming up to you telling you anything about what you look like. And it's not their fucking business. And it's like, they come and it's like you could see the women visibly. It's like they take a hit. Well, this girl, I know she was talking to me today. She was feeling like, she might be depressed. And I'm like, well, what makes you think that you're depressed? And she says, well, I think it's, has to do with my boyfriend. And I said, well, what's going on? I mean, if you want to tell me, And so she says that, he said something to her where he was talking to her about some woman that he met that he used to go to high school with, just ran into her on the street. And he was like, going on and on to this lady about how the woman had blown up and she was so huge now, she was so big, she was so this, she was so that, how she used to be so fine, blah, 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 blah. So he's going on and on and on about this woman. And then he turns to this girl who's his girlfriend. And she's, a little heavy lady, but she's a beautiful skin. I mean, she's, always dresses nicely and everything. And he turns to her and he says, yeah, she looks a lot like you now. So, of course, her feelings were hurt because he had just spent 10 minutes, right, riding this woman about how big this other chick is, right? And then he turns to her and says, yeah, she looks a lot like you. So that means all the things he said about this other woman can now apply to her in one fell swoop. And so I'm sitting there looking at her, and you can see the hurt in her eyes. I said, okay, so what did you say back to him? And she said she didn't really say anything. I said, okay, well then what you have, depression is anger turned inward. That's all that is. You have feelings, you have anger, you have rage, you have hurt, you have a lot of things going on that you, instead of venting them out and making that person depressed and upset and whatever, you're holding that in. And so your body is like, that's what's happening. You're making yourself a wreck here. And so she says, I said, so what could you have said to him? And she's like, well, he's really really kind of self-conscious about how skinny he is. I'm like, oh, perfect opportunity to talk about his olive oil looking ass. So you got a lot of nerve talking about somebody. You just the opposite. I mean, it's whatever she wants, but she doesn't talk about people like me. But I would have read his little ass like a book. But that's what happened. And so you're going to have a lot of women who are trying to stay in relationships, so they push all that down and just take all that anger and just hold on to it. Okay, well then you start overeating, your skin breaks out, you get insomnia, start getting tension headaches, you can't digest your food, you start having digestive problems, you start having and you get depressed. You don't lack energy. You just want to sleep a lot. You lose interest in the things that brought you joy and happiness, all because of a nig-nog. And it's like when you start thinking about this is the kind of way that this man is doing you, and this is what he's bringing to your life, please explain to me where that is worth that. You're giving up everything for them. You're losing your whole sanity, your every bit of happiness that you ever had to keep a relationship with some sick fuck who wants to hurt your feelings every time you turn around. Talk about you, put you down, make you feel bad about yourself. Why do you guys do that to yourself? Why do you stay in a relationship with a man who does that to you? That is verbal and emotional abuse. There's a video on the channel about verbal abuse. But this is emotional abuse when a man takes joy in saying and doing things that make you hurt, that make you cry, that make you feel like you're less than, not good enough, that you're lacking in every kind of way possible. That motherfucker is an abusive bully. Okay, and you call yourself being in love with him, you need to love yourself more than you ever love any man or anybody else, including your parents, even your kids. You better love yourself. Because kids grow up and then they act real stupid sometimes. Because I'm telling you, I worked with adult protective services, and I could tell you some stories about people's kids. They ain't shit. So it's like you want to thinking you're gonna have this wonderful life raising your kids and all this shit. The little ungrateful fucks, and they'll kill you and take your shit and rob you, put you in a home, all kind of awful stuff. I mean, I have thousands of stories of how these kids do their parents when the parents have something they want it. They don't give a fuck about these old people. They just want what they can get from the old people. Sell their houses out from under them. So don't think just because this is your kid that you're gonna love the kid more than you love yourself. Don't you ever do that. You love yourself first and let them deal. You take care of them and do everything you got to do. But I'm not saying abuse them, but you don't sacrifice too much for your fucking kids. Let them deal with some shit by themselves. Especially once they hit 18, you back up and let them hit it. Stop babying these motherfuckers. 30 years old, you still paying their cell phone bills and giving them money and helping them buy with their car notes and paying their car insurance and shit. They don't have money for a car and to pay car insurance, then they need to get a bus pass. That's how you do it. Okay? We all did that. They know they aren't worthy. That's how no, they don't know it. They feel it because these men are telling them that they aren't. So it's like, just like, but this is the kind of thing like you depend on other people for to define who you are. See, that's not self-esteem. I did a whole webinar on self-esteem. That's not self-esteem. Self-esteem comes from within you. That's why it's called self. Okay, but if you're depending on other people to make you feel good, to tell you who you are, that tell other you that you're good enough to make you feel this and that, then you're just like empty. You're depending on all this stuff, and just like they give it to you, they can take it away and leave your ass sitting there shattered and broken because they're not doing that for you anymore. You need to do it for your damn self. I'm trying to tell you, this is the big thing. If more women love themselves, 90% of what I have to do here, I wouldn't have to do. I wouldn't have to do it because everybody would be straight. Oh, the men aren't worthy. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Okay, now here's the go. This is talking. It happens again and again all the time. Sometimes it's brazen, but often it's subtle. Body shaming might not look the way that you imagine. It's not always as obvious as calling someone fat or too skinny. Sometimes it's a suggestion that a certain cut of clothing isn't, quote, flattering on people built like you. Regardless of the form it takes, one thing that's for certain is that there's still far, far too much of it. Here's just a few ways women get body shamed day in and day out. Okay, well, let me stop and say this. You know what? If you a big sister and you got fat rolls and your ass is like 50 years old, you don't have no business in a spandex mini dress. I don't care. I mean, it's like, we're not talking about body shaming. I'm not going to shame you for it. I'm just telling you there's something that would make you look more elegant and sophisticated and gorgeous than that. Okay, we're talking like options here. Let's explore some. You're not a teenager anymore. You don't have a teenager body. So, let's work with what we got here. I'm not, you do me weird if you want to, but I'm just saying that's probably not the best look for you. Okay, and it's not a matter of shaming because I'm trying to help you pick something that's gonna like show your beauty, the part of you that's really good. You don't want to pick clothes that shows all your perceived flaws because you sit there and you talk about themselves. Oh, I need to hit the gym. I ate too many donuts last week. This kind of thing. You know what I mean? Your ex body shamed you. Oh, you got the damn Holy Ghost. I'm just saying, I think every woman is beautiful. Every woman has things about herself that are gorgeous. Play that up, okay? Don't you have to dress like somebody else because it looks cute on them? Well, I'm not gonna be the one pointing at you and all this stuff here, but I'm just saying. Yes, things that are certain. I mean, look, there's certain things I'm not gonna wear myself. So it's like I could be body shaming my damn self. But there's certain things when I was really fit and working as a trainer and I didn't have fat rolls, I would wear spandex and look fucking good in it. Okay, back out and all kind of stuff, showing all my muscles and whatnot. But I don't look like that anymore because I haven't been working out like that. I used to work out like 2 hours a day, every day. So it's like, what you used to look like and what you look like now, 10 to 12 years later, is a little different. And I respect that. I work with what I got. I don't try to like force myself into flashback memories of what used to be. And, I don't do that to myself because I don't want to hurt my own feelings. He started dressing like you. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't let a man validate. I mean, they want to give you little compliments, right? And most women be eating that shit up. I don't want to hear your compliments and I don't want to hear your complaints. I really just want you to shut the fuck up. You know? Yeah, spandex ain't for all of us, okay? Myself included. Just certain things you just have to, you have to give up certain things unless you're willing to hit the gym like that. And I'm doing so many other things these days. I really don't have that kind of time. So this one's article says telling someone that she's hot for a blank any particular identity. That happens. You're kind of hot for an Asian girl. You're kind of hot for a black girl. You're kind of hot for a mixed chick. You kind of hot for a dark skin. You kind of hot for a red bone. You kind of hot for whatever. And it's like for somebody with skinny legs. They gonna always put something in it to make you question whether they're saying that's the pickup artist group called that's the neg because it's like it's supposed to be a compliment, but it's covered in some kind of criticism. So you would be hot. Okay, that part's the compliment, and then comes the part where they take the compliment back. So it leaves women confused, and a lot of women would then try to fit themselves into the mold that this guy is saying, and I'm like, shh, fuck off, fuck all the way off. Well, you kind of stupid for an alleged adult. Let's start with that. Saying someone has more cushion for the pushing. First of all, growth. Second of all, insert eye roll heel. This is so shameful. To insinuate that a woman's body is simply a sexual object and her backside would make a fun playground is so incredibly immature. Who ever came up with this ridiculous phrase? If anyone says this to you, please feel free to smack them. It masquerades as body positive. Hey, it's fine if you're fat because I would still have sex with you, but it's really anything but. Mm. Comparing somebody's item to a food body to a food item. You have to call it like a muffin. But I'm not exactly thrilled when my midsection is compared to one, and I'm pretty sure no one else is either. Rock hard abs are great if that's what your body looks like, but not owning a set of them shouldn't merit comparisons to baked goods. A person's worth should not be measured in pounds or inches, but definitely not in baked goods. Constantly talking about thigh gaps. Yep, that's white men's thing. Oh my God. You go on those sites where they like to talk about women real bad, like Reddit, and they will talk about that space between the thighs. They like white girls to have that. Ain't no black woman being bothered with that shit. It's like, whatever. But yeah, they be really fixated on that. They just want that gap. And I'm like, what the hell is all that about? And when I was a photographer, one of the things, you would read about, I had to do a lot of training, and they would talk about what were quote the ideal dimensions or proportions rather for someone to model. And I was reading that, and I'm in the class, there's a whole bunch of white people, and they're like, yeah, yeah, this and that. And I'm raising my hand. I'm like, oh, this is BS. This is nonsense. If you want to take pictures, no real woman has that body. Those are professional models. If we're talking about doing family portraits and, portraits of people and wedding pictures and all this kind of stuff was what I used to do. Those are real people. And I'm not going to be trying to compare them or even hint about comparing them to some random idea that some goofy white boy came up with years ago, and now everybody's jumping through hoops trying to make themselves fit this imaginary ideal woman like a goddamn Barbie doll. So how Barbie dolls have that straight space? That's how they want real women's bodies to look. Fuck out of here with that. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't remember. I probably did when I was little because I was so skinny. I was a little tomboy person with, trying to keep up with my brother. So I was very active. But, and, just try. I used to, believe it or not, looking at me now, I used to struggle to gain weight. But I don't have that problem anymore. So but I hadn't read all the stuff yet. I didn't know anything about all this. That was later, when I was in high school. I was taking photography and came up with that stuff. All right. Judging someone's morality or assuming things about their gender, their sex life based on how they dress. Yep. Because they call it. We make jokes about it. We call it thought wear and slut wear and all this kind of stuff. People make jokes about it, but there's a certain perception that there's certain types of attire that are appropriate in certain environments. Like if you're going to go to a formal banquet, right? Your guy would wear a tuxedo. He's not going to show up there in, them like knee shorts, what they call them, cargo shorts and flip flops. Okay, so he would most likely get shamed for his attire. So to me, I understand where they're coming from, and that there's certain things basing assuming someone's life based on how they dress. But as mature adults, we have to understand the society in which we live. How you dress and what's considered appropriate attire varies from culture to culture. There's no one rule about that. I mean, like, some places they wear burqas. Okay, we don't wear burqas, but likewise, you don't need to be walking down the street with nipple patches on and a G-string either. So I mean, there has to be some kind of happy medium there where you want to, you understand how your attire might affect your children, their perception, people's perception of your child's mother, your parents, their perception of their daughter. I mean, we have to balance that with this judging that this person's talking about, because people are not gonna stop judging you for if you come into like some corporate thing and you wearing like a micro mini dress, pulling it down, showing half your pube hair. That's just certain things that you just really have to weigh the benefits. The cost benefit analysis must be done. So, criticizing people who are thin is not body positive. Shaming women for being too skinny, just as their quote too big, is wrong. Anything to do with plastic surgery, they say, is wrong. Describing certain body types as boyish is wrong. Wow. Well, they went kind of deep in that, so let's just toss that one. Then I found this article. They was talking. There's a wall of shame. There was this wall. Let me see if I can zoom in on this picture. See, it's a wall. It was like in an art gallery. See that? And women wrote on it with their awful experience of being body shamed and harassed. There's also, so this article has pictures of it, of women. They said that women were slut shamed, period shamed, body shamed, and mom shamed. And they made letters. They put screenshots of what some of the things that men said. I was 18 years old. The first convent. What? Okay, I don't understand her. Somebody else says if you lost some weight, you would look good. I'm now well into my 60s, but I have never forgotten how ordinary I felt. Wow, the first comment from the ninth. I don't know what that says. If you lost weight, you would look good. Wow, and she's 60 and she still remembers the sting of that. People joke about me people write about me on the desks at school. Wow. And they say the ones relating to rape are particularly harrowing. One of the messages reads, "A man who raped me when I was 14 told me I had charging rhinoceros thighs." What? You take the girl's innocence and you insult her too? One says, my first serious boyfriend and the first person I had sex with told me that I couldn't be on top because I was too big. Another one says, we were discussing recent sexual assaults in our city, and a friend who was a law enforcement officer told me, you don't need to worry, you're too ugly to be raped. Wow. And it says how many women were talked about by their husbands and boyfriends. Do you really need another donut? My ex-husband. You married outside of your league. I know I shouldn't give this opinion so much so much weight, but I can't shake it from my mind. It plays in my head when I'm with my husband and I feel ugly and inadequate. You married outside of your league. I don't know. Maybe, do I need to give a class on how to cuss motherfuckers out or come up with witty, cutting remarks in the spur of the moment? These aren't even letters. These are comments. These were things from that wall that I showed you. They did photographs of them, see, of what some of the women wrote. This like floor to ceiling, two sides wall thing. And it was in an art gallery. The women could just come up and write It's in the UK. Women could come up and write their stories of being body shamed. My husband and I went away for a long weekend to celebrate our first wedding anniversary. He spent most of the weekend pointing out random women he would see and say, "If you ever get that fat, I'll leave you." Wow. Boys in my class say that I can't play soccer or footy, but I can. Somebody who's 7 years old. They say she can't because she's a girl. Wow. Is there a answer for this? Yeah, these dudes are trash. Yeah. I mean, this is disturbing. That's why I call this Tough Topic Thursday, because every time I do these, it's a tough topic that I have. Like right now, I'm getting a headache because I'm so angry. And it's just like this. I just get into this rage where, how fucking dare you talk to some women like that, you fucking prick. And I just want to just like choke these dudes. And I'm already violent enough, but this kind of stuff is like throwing gasoline on a fire. I just want to go around and just beat up some people. And it's like these poor women. It's like, and this is the kind of stuff that happens from the time you're young all the way until you're older. And, women then, because then now, do you get to a certain age like where I am now? Now they want to shame you about your age. It's like, oh, you're old, you're this, you're that. And then if you're single, you got a bunch of cats, you just gonna have cats. So it's like, no matter what you do, ladies, no matter what you do, there's gonna be some knuckleheaded ass, stupid ass, crazy man who's gonna find some way to turn that around to make it be something wrong with you. There's something he's going to be saying to you that's nasty and fucked up. You need to start thinking of some things that you can say in response to their fucked up comments. Yeah, I never get headaches, but I can feel my temples throbbing right now because I'm so pissed. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. It's just there's something seriously wrong with me. I mean, when you look at all the different ways they're fucked up, the narcissism, the verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, the desire to hurt and kill women, the idea that they need to control and dominate women, the idea that if you want to leave them, they're going to kill you rather than let you go and live your life the way that you want to. When you put all of that together, especially for African American women who are being killed at a ratio of 4 or 5 to 1 over white women, okay, the worst place, the most dangerous place for a black woman is in a relationship with a black man. Yes, I said it. You're getting your asses kicked and you're getting killed to be in a relationship with these nignogs. I'm like, this is just a nightmare, and I don't remember it being like this when I was young. Of course, I was probably, too young and didn't really know what I was looking at or hearing. But it seems to me still like after the 80s crack epidemic, that black culture changed drastically. Black men just went on a downhill slide and they have not corrected themselves yet and still sliding. And that's when, like, all of that is when the downfall of black community took place, and shit ain't been right since. They just went crazy. And I honestly think that it's some of it because you're looking at like second and third generation from those adults who went into the crack zone, right? They was in their 30s, so then they had kids. Now their kids have kids, and some of those kids have kids if they're, young, if they're had them young enough. So you looking at the effects of the brain damage and the genetic damage done by those drugs and the chemicals that they put in them to process them into crack cocaine. So, people never thought about that kind of stuff. But that shit, you're taking chemicals into your body. It has to damage your brain. It fucks with all the organs of your body. That's why Lynn Bias had first, got to smoking a crack pipe and his ass checked up out of here. Prime health athlete died. Heart exploded from using drugs. So you telling me that something can destroy your heart tissue to that level and it's not going to have any impact on your brain tissue and your cellular structure, your genetics, that you're going to fuck, it's going to fuck something up and you're going to pass that along to the next generation and the next and the next. I think that's what's going on right now. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. That is the was the big thing that came into the black community and changed all the solidarity, all the focus, and the black pride. And James Brown said, "Now I'm black and I'm proud," and the Black Panthers and all that stuff that we did, the civil rights era, everything, all that fighting and progress and the battles that we did. We were together as a people. The crack epidemic destroyed that shit like in one fell swoop. Within a year, the black community was destroyed, and it's been fucked up ever since. Yep, black women, it is. I'm telling you, this is this is something that I think, a lot of people just aren't really considering. Once you have somebody whose brain is destroyed, there has to be something seriously wrong with men that is like a permanent thing because too many of them think like this. They believe that they actually have the right to say these vile things to women and to hurt you physically, emotionally, and mentally, and they think that that's okay. That who does that? No, they're not on crack. That their families, their people that they're descended from use crack and heroin, and it's that street shit. So it's not like like opium, like the Chinese used to do that was processed and pure, from back in the day. Nope, this is some street shit cut with who knows what, and these people are smoking it and shooting it up in their veins. You cannot tell me this is not having some impact on people's DNA. You cannot tell me that. It's affecting their organs. So it has to be doing more damage than what we can really see. And so these people have like no empathy. They're like psychotic. They're sociopaths. All of this, the things where you empathize with other people and demonstrate caring and love and support. These nignogs don't have that. They don't have it. All they think about is how they're going to use somebody or abuse somebody or kill somebody. The violence is out of control. I mean, it's like a mental institution in the black community, and all the residents are crazy. The ones who aren't crazy are suffering from PTSD from dealing with those crazy. So everybody's fucked up, from the kids through the seniors. They're all fucked up. So I'm like, yes, treating these men like children is definitely a huge part of it. Just like the letters we had. Now, y'all noticed I was looking at the chat. I noticed a lot of you were disagreeing with my stance. You were saying, well, no, he's being mean to the son. That's abusive. This and that. There's nothing in that letter that said that man was being abusive to that boy. He was making that boy grow up to be a man. That boy is at least 8 or 9 years old and don't fucking know how to tie his shoes. And he's lying. He's not cleaning his room. What the fuck is wrong with somebody taking away his privileges to make him to make sure that he does those things? It's called raising your kid to be responsible and accountable. But I saw so many women in the chat that was against that. Oh, that's my child, and nobody gonna tell my child what to do. Well, if you're not telling your child what to do, and your child is lying, your child don't know how to tie his shoes, and your child is fucking up everywhere, then somebody needs to tell him because obviously you're not doing it. Okay, because otherwise these things wouldn't be happening. So, I mean, I read all the stuff and it was like really interesting to see, but I'm just telling y'all, you wrong. Okay, the man was not hitting the kid. He didn't beat the kid. He didn't, call the kid names or anything. He just took privileges away from the child and made the child go clean up his room. That's what men need to do. And if these single mothers did that kind of shit, then we wouldn't have all these men out here acting a fool, zip damn fool. You don't got no man. It's up to you to make your child act right, and your boys especially. You can't baby their asses. Make them do something, even something as simple. Somebody told me they had a friend. I thought he was saw it in the chat maybe. Some lady that they work with whose son in his 20s would text his mother to tell her that he's hungry. I would have text back, starved motherfucker. What you texting me for? You better go out and hunt a rabbit or some shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. But don't tell me what you hungry. Who you fucking? Go get some food from her. Don't be bothering me with that shit. I wouldn't give a fuck if he starved to death. But see, that's... Who does see? But as a mother, you calling your son like that. He's in his 20s and he's telling you he's hungry. He should deserve to get cussed the fuck out. You don't do no shit like that. So this is what I'm talking about. We got drugs, and then we got women calling these knuckleheaded ass men, which just makes them worse. And you don't make your sons give to you. You don't make them do shit for you. They think that they're entitled to get these things from other women, and you're teaching them that. Come on now. Yeah, drugs. That's where I think all this quote bipolar came from. Cause you never heard about that shit. But now everybody bipolar. I think it comes from the crack era, crack cocaine. That's what I think. And this new shit, what's this stuff that everybody's doing? This methamphetamines. Have you seen how that destroys people's bodies? You can't tell me that this stuff, like with heroin, all your teeth fall out and stuff. I mean, each one of these drugs has some horrible side effects to it that affects the human body very badly. You cannot tell me that parents doing these drugs are not fucking up their bodies so that when they get pregnant or they create a baby with their sperm, that is transmuted to the child. So I mean, nobody can tell me that this is not true. Nobody's, I've never read anything that says that it isn't. So I'm gonna roll with my idea because I'm usually ahead of the curve anyway. But so you got all these people in the black community that were exposed, drug exposed through pregnancy or through their grandparents or their great grandparents, whatever. And so now you got all these problems with these sociopaths, people with no empathy. Which is, if you look up online, you can read about how crack babies have that problem, this emotional deadness. They don't have normal emotional reactions like regular kids do, where like a kid who's normal, like he'll see somebody hurt on the street or hurt puppy or something, he'll cry, right? He'll cry, she'll cry. But the kids who are negatively impacted and are like crack babies will just look at it, or else they'll want to hurt it more just to see what'll happen. Or it's injured, they'll want to kill it because it was going to die anyway. No empathy, no sympathy, no caring at all. That's what you have. And look at how this is impacting the population, the black male population. Why should males, period, are acting like that? So I'm telling you, I'm convinced that my theory is correct. Nobody could tell me is not. And I think that's what's going on. So you got all these men that have these problems, and you're all trying to have a relationship with them, and you have a man who cannot empathize with you, and who's not even going to try to understand anything about you because it's all about him. And he's violent, he's out of control, he has no filters and no self control. No self regulating ability because of his drug exposure, in the womb or, before that. So, you have something like that and you're trying to have a relationship with it where there's going to be love and concern and mutual support and all this stuff. These are people who are incapable of that kind of behavior. They just don't have it. It's beyond MGTOW. This is just something that's like deadly and yeah, it is women too. But when you look at statistics, the women aren't the ones killing the women. The women are the ones being killed by the men. The men are the ones killing the women. Now, a woman may have that problem and she's going to be the one that's going to, leave her baby and run off and do more drugs or this and that. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones who kill somebody because they feel like they own that person. That person cannot leave them. That person cannot have an opinion other than the one that they want them to have. They can't go anywhere unless they want them to go there. All this kind of stuff, this globbing on and sucking the life out of women to have them under control. And then if the woman doesn't want to be under control, then they want to kill her. And they don't even feel any empathy about it. No concern whatsoever. Yeah, I'm a killer. I mean, just like they're talking about going to the beach. And this is someone's life here. These parents are losing their daughter because this man is all fucked up in the head. So that would be my thing is, you all better watch who you dating here. Uh, you know, People who take too much Tylenol, I don't know about that. But, I wouldn't be surprised because there's just so much stuff that people don't know about these drugs and the long-term effects on the human bodies. That's why, you try not to give your kids too many medications. Then they wonder why they're, you having fertility problems and stuff when they get, of age and get married and want to have a baby, start a family and stuff, and they can't do it. I mean, I'm looking at, all of that. I'm sure there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, no remorse, no guilt, no concern. You see them in courts after they done killed the woman and stuff, just sitting there like, what? Some of them are even laughing. They're laughing and they're taunting the family that's grieving, that's in the court waiting to see the justice be done. They're taunting them, laughing in their faces at their tears and stuff like that. I'm telling you, that is a crazy motherfucker. I don't know what that is, but this is This is what you guys got going on here. This is what we're looking at. And so people say, well, it's women's too. No, stop talking about women. Women ain't killing other women. It's the men killing the women. The men are killing women. They're killing girls. They're killing little baby boys. They're killing children of all ages. They're abducting them, killing them, doing whatever they want to them. These men are psycho fucks. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them, but this shit is happening far too often. It's happening not just nationwide, but worldwide. It's like there is a serious war on women, and this stuff. We're talking about the verbal part right now, where they want to attack your self confidence, your self esteem, and your emotional state, your peace of mind, your all of the, okay. Those are words, okay? They are hurtful, but at least you can walk away. But then if the words don't work, they want to start using their fists or weapons like guns and knives, then we may not talk to you again, because this idea that they have the right to hurt you, whether with words or other instruments, is what they feel is their God-given right or something. Yep. Yep, we're getting degrees. You're right. We're going to school. We're doing something positive for ourselves in way larger numbers. I'm not saying everybody, because there's some women in prison too. But when you look at the difference in statistics, it's like 90% of the black women who are murdered by black men that they was in a relationship with, like a husband, an ex-husband, a boyfriend, or an ex-boyfriend, and the majority are boyfriends. Not husbands and ex-husbands, boyfriends and ex-boyfriends. So, that's what I'm saying. Well, I said it before on Facebook, and folks tried to roast me. But I said, the most dangerous place for a black woman is in a relationship with a black man. You racist, you're wrong. I'm like, psh, statistics bear me out. So go talk to the Department of Justice and the FBI, and then come back and tell me what you found. And that's not even talking about the 100,000 of missing black women that we don't even know where them sisters are. Okay, so most likely they dead too. So that just ups the number even more. And so, since so many black women only want to deal with a black man, this is it. And all the statistics, when the men are caught, they're black. And they're killing black women like it's the fucking thing to do. So that's why I talk about black women who be on this thing, they talking about these 2 or 3 trans that got killed this year. 3 women die every fucking day just in this country from domestic violence, and they estimate to be 3. Like I said, that doesn't count the ones where the woman disappears and they don't know where she is. So then that would double it. So you got 6, 8, 10 women a day just disappearing or dead. Okay, and then these are real women, and then you want to cry to me about 3 trannies that got killed by other men. So these are men killing men now, and you want to tell me about that? I'm supposed to exert some energy to that? Fuck you. I don't give no fucks about that shit. Those are men killing men. They have at it. Do what you want to do. Leave women alone. So, I can't muster up any sympathy for that when women are being dropped like fucking flies all over the world by men. I can't. I can't. You only have so much sympathy and empathy and time to worry about somebody. I choose to worry about my sisters who are women and what's happening to them. So people always ask me for help. Well, you should help promote this thing. I said about some trannies. Don't even waste your breath. That is so not going to happen. Not here. As soon as they be getting killed at the rate which real women do, then we might have a conversation. But until that, just don't even bother me with that shit. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, they threatened. I know they went out with this dude, right? He was talking about how he move my chair over. He was talking about how he wanted to set this. He was working at this business, right? And they did something, and he wanted to burn the business down. I broke up with his. Well, I mean, we wasn't really dating. We had only gone on a couple of times, but I became instantly so busy. I just had like no time to deal with him anymore. I decided I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna work on my master's. I actually did for a little while. Then I said, fuck this shit. But I had to create something to get me away from this dude. Was crazy. Who does that? I mean, who talks about doing something like that so casually? Like it was, like, yeah, they made me mad, so I'm going to burn the business down, and I don't care if people are in the building or not. Yeah, I left his ass alone. So, it's like we see this kind of thing. You guys have to pay attention when these men say these kinds of things to you. This is not a joke. This is not fun time. This is something you need to take very, very seriously, because after the words comes the physical, and after the physical becomes the violence. So, this is like what they call it, like a gateway drug. The cruel words where they start hitting at your self esteem, that's the gateway to further violence towards you, because those words depict violence. Those words depict hate. Those words depict it's something that they want to do to hurt you, which hurt is emotional hurt. It can be mental, or hurt can be physical. So this is like a little train that you on. They're going to start with the words and see what you do. It's like a test to see how you handle it, what you do, how you respond. If you crumble, then he know he got you. And he just gonna up the ante. That's why the young lady was talking about how in the letter how she went off on the boy and started telling him about himself. See, she shut his shit down because he saw that she wasn't gonna take it. That's what you have to do. And those of you who are, you haven't found your voice yet because you're too young, we're hoping that you associating with older women like us will help you find your voice sooner, because you've got to have it. You're gonna be dealing with men. You cannot be a little shrinking violet. You have got to speak up. You gotta, tell these dudes about themselves. Oh yes, please like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. I see my girls in the chat room doing the damn thing. They always, thanks you guys, because I forget. I get on the topic and I have to get focused and forget all about that part. But, they be handling shit over there. But yeah, you've got to speak up. You got to find, your words, and you have to use them. And then what you have to do is follow through on your words and leave these dudes alone. Just leave them alone. They don't know how to treat you, then they don't get the pleasure of being around you. I just cut them off real quick. I don't want to be bothered. Say, don't call me, forget you know me, lose my number. But just to make sure, like I said, I go on my phone and I have do not answer number 1 through 70 something. I'm up to 70 something now. I don't even know who them people are anymore. They probably already moved away, died, got married, something happened to them, whatever. I don't even know. I don't care. Because you know how you can save your contact list on Verizon and you just transfer it from phone to phone to phone to phone? That's what I've been doing for years. So I could probably delete some of those early ones, but I'm not taking a chance. I don't know. How's your daughter, Fatima? Yeah, you got to. You got to. And you guys, you have ladies have daughters, help them. Help them find their voice. So what I used to do with my daughters do play acting, what they call, I don't know, but like I would create a situation, right? Okay, you're doing this and that, blah blah blah, and the guy you're out with says this and that to you. What do you do? So I started teaching her by giving her options. Well, you could do this, you could do that, you could say this, you could do. So, over the years, she started getting the idea for what are some options that she could say, because I already given her the words. All she had to do was repeat them. So if you can do something like that, uh, oh, okay. All right. That's, if you could do something like that, it'd be very helpful to your girl to kind of get on on the right track. But I'm on YouTube. Oh, I'm all that you need on YouTube. I'm sorry, I misread it. You do that, Ramona? Okay, good. Yeah, that's what you do, because it gives them some. Because, when they're in that moment, right, they're going to be like, oh, wait. This, I had this conversation with my mama. What did we say? Oh, yeah, she said to say this and to do that. And then they say it and then they do it. So, if you get them, you teach them how to do it. You teach them how to assess men. You teach them when something is abusive so that they don't be like their friends and just stick around. Oh, he didn't mean it. He was just joking, girl. It just be like this. That's how they be, girl. We can't be leaving them just because of that. So you don't want your daughter to have that stupid mindset just because her friends do, or her other people in her class or her sorority or whatever. You want your daughter to be a leader, not a fucking follower. And these girls, I mean, they be getting themselves in all kind of situations with these dudes. These dudes that don't want to hear no, and girls have to understand, if you say no to a man and he asks you one more time, okay, you already said no, and he asks you one more time, why, or why not, or this and that, blah blah blah, break up with him. Break up with her. Say, you don't respect me. I told you no, and it's like what I said, it doesn't matter. It's like you don't hear because it's not what you want. So you know what? We're done. We're done here. This is I don't want to be bothered with you no more. And that's how you got to do. When he calls you out your name the first time, when he hurt your feelings and says some foul and funky shit to you, fire his ass. If more women did that, if these dudes would learn real quick, okay, wait a minute, I'm not getting nowhere with these women. I need to learn to shut my fucking mouth. But you know, if you stay in a relationship with him, basically what you're doing is condoning his behavior. What you're doing, he has no repercussions for his negative behavior because he's still getting everything that he wants, right? You still screwing him, you still married to him, you still having his babies, you still taking care of his house, you still changing his sheets and washing his dirty drawers, you still doing everything just like you would be doing if he treated you well. So how is he getting any kind of punishment for what he said to you and what he did to you? See, you're all not thinking right. And this is the same mentality you have about your kids. You cannot let kids have privileges when they misbehave. And men are the same way. You have to have standards and you have to have boundaries. And they get out of pocket and start doing some bullshit, cut them loose. They'll learn. You on the floor with your wine glass. I want you to get off the floor. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, that works too, girl. My brother used to call his Roscoe. He called his gun Roscoe. He can pull out Roscoe and be having it. Okay, now let's talk about let's talk back. But essentially, that's essentially what's happening. You're rewarding his negative behavior. He done hurt your feelings and called you out your name, talked about your body and stuff, and yet you still want to sleep with him. Now you feeling ashamed because you feel sick. But why are you fucking him? Why are you fucking a man that made you hurt and cry and feel bad about the body that he wants to be all up in? What are you doing? I can't even understand that. Motherfucker, I'm in bed with you. I better be the most glorious goddess you've ever seen. I don't give a fuck what I look like. And you better pretend. Okay, you better fucking pretend, and then but you guys like, oh, I wear this clothes. I don't want him to see my belly. I don't want him to see this. So you're feeling all kind of shame and stuff, yet you still fucking him. No, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. He hurt you. Have enough sense to love yourself and get rid of men who tried to hurt you. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve better than that. Get the fuck out of here, Richard. This is a women's chat, and we're talking about what men do to women. So unless your ass is gay, and you talking about what men do to men because you gay, then this is not the place for you to come in here with that bullshit. Somebody boot his ass out of here. That pissed me off. Why did I look up and see that bullshit? Can't stand stupid ass men that don't even know where they are and coming with their little riding in with their cape. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm like, shit. Yeah, he wouldn't get shit. Not even a conversation from me. I'm telling you, my feelings turn on and off like a fucking switch. And you say one fucked up thing to me, and it's a wrap. I just can't. It's like, why do I want to be with you? And this is how I know you think about me because this is what you just said to me. So you think I'm not good enough. You think there's all these flaws in me. You think that there's somebody else is better. You think that I'm too whatever. But so you're being critical of me, but yet you want to sleep with me? Motherfucker, get the hell out. Go sleep with Pamela and Five Finger Mary. Make that magic happen. You ain't gonna get shit here. And then if they try, I'm gonna stab you. Now I love stabbing, folks. Stabbing is wonderful. I have some Ginzu knives too. They're very sharp. I'm like, I just can't, and I just don't understand how you guys do that. Why do you do that to? I mean, and maybe you never thought about it the way that I'm putting it right now, and I'll give you that because you got late, women, a lot of people don't talk to their daughters like this. They don't talk to their friends like this. They don't talk, to even to themselves like this. You've got to have some kind of standards for the men in your life that you share your one and only precious body with. He's not treating you like you a fucking goddess, then he don't get nothing. No conversation, no services, no cooking, no, booty, nothing. He don't get nothing till you learn how to talk to somebody. Exactly. Stabbing is wonderful. I'm trying to tell you. It's just a lovely thing. I just, I have this thing where I just am enamored with knives. I just like them. Yep. I used to take what do they call it? Fencing. I used to take fencing, and I was really good at it. I won some prizes. I am an excellent. Well, I used to be. I don't know what a little fat ass could do now, but I used to really be good at it. And what is that fencing thing? It's like a sword, right? What is at the end of it? Something that will stab you. I'm telling you, I've been enamored with stabbing since I was very young. It's one of them things. It applies to married women as well. Exactly. Exactly, because you can go on strike just because you married. That don't mean you obligated. A lot of these men have this thing like, well, you married, so your body belongs to me. No, motherfucker, your name is not listed on my birth certificate, so ain't shit about me connected to you. I'm connected to you as long as I fucking feel like being, and you talk to me like this one more time, and we won't be. You got that was your warning, like a rattlesnake. You came too close. I played the warnings down. You do some shit again and watch what happens. I'm telling you, y'all got to put these motherfuckers on notice. Don't be letting don't let them talk to you like that. Don't let them treat you like that. Make them have a punishment. They need to be punished. That's one of my friend's favorite words. She's like, "Oh no, we got to punish him," and she was good at it. For she stabbed him. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Keep your fucking hands to yourself, motherfucker. Now I bet you he gonna look at that hole in his hand for the rest of his life and remember he put his hand somewhere he didn't have no business putting it. No, I aim for places where there's a lot of blood, but it's not a vital organ. You don't want to cut like a major vein or anything like that. You have to study your anatomy so you know where to stab. So it'll be damaging and get their attention, and they will bleed a lot, but it won't kill them. That's what you want. Unless he's doing something egregious in case you do want to kill him, in which case you would go for a major artery so the motherfucker will bleed out in about 3 minutes. And you could just sit there with your legs crossed and watch. But, we're just talking about just your normal. She did it with a fork. Damn, she must be strong. Wow. Hey, Christian. That's all right. She's standing with a fork. I'm scared of her. She must have like Wonder Woman strength. She's like, what? Oh my God. Yeah, they are. They are because they feel you right. They feel like they got you. They feel like they don't have to be nice to you anymore, and this and that. Please. At the time I threw something at my husband, I was good because when you have three brothers and I couldn't catch them, because I was little and I couldn't catch them. But what I did was develop a throwing mechanism. I knew, how in billiards and pool, how you know how to bounce things off at a certain angle. This is before I even knew about geometry. So, I would figure out the angle to hit. And I did this all on my own. I was like 8 years old, 9. And, okay, they would go down the hall. We had them long Victorian hallways, right? And then they would duck in their room. So in order for me to hit them, I would have to throw it, bounce it at an angle from the door over here so they would bounce across and get them. And I got so I could throw it, and it would go in there, and then you hear them go, ah! Because it would hit them, even like through the door. I was good at that shit. And so when you have, you grow up with a lot of dudes, you see how they are and the bullshit they try to run, the games they used to run on women. All my brothers are very handsome guys, smart. I mean, they had game. And so to grow up and watch them in action, I learned a lot about what not to take and how men can do if they don't really love and respect you. So I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to get played like that. Mm-mm. And so, throw shit on them. She'll throw shit at them. Cock them upside the head with something. Knock some fucking sense into them. I did. I got a donation. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. Well, whoever, yes, thank you. Well, see, that's why I'm like, y'all better be thinking about this because, you got these, I keep saying, people are like, well, are you anti-marriage? Not really. I'm not against anti-marriage. I'm against marrying somebody that you see these red flags and then you marry them anyway. I'm against. I have no problem admitting that. I'm against that for real. But you guys, you overlook a lot of stuff because you have your goal of, well, I want to stay married. I want to get him to marry me. I want to have a family. I want to have this. I want to have, and you take all kind of mistreatment from these dudes in the process. That's not someone that you should be marrying. He's a loser. He's a knucklehead. He's not gonna respect you and all of that. So why would you marry him? I'm telling you, don't do that. That's what dating is about, to find out who's a good fit. All these women writing these stories, these are boyfriends. These are dudes they was dating. And these dudes was talking to them crazy. They would be so nexted. I'm telling you, just so nexted. I can't. I can't. Yes. Well, let me read this last letter because I saved this for last because I thought that um, her thoughts were a great way to conclude this discussion. She's like, I'm still trying to get to the point where I love myself completely and unconditionally. So I believe this will be a great discussion. This is all based upon what we honestly think about ourselves because no matter what others say, at the end of the day, we have to face the person in the mirror and sit with the contents of our own minds. We have created a storyline of how we perceive ourselves from a young age, and sadly, we tend to fixate upon the negative things others have said about us and not the 90% who have been kind and said positive things. It is ultimately our responsibility to accept the way we are because nobody can love us how we love ourselves. It's all an inside job. And I thought, wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. And girl, you dap. So that ladies, that is my concludes my discussion on how I think you should handle men or women, anybody who tries to shame you about anything. Cuss they fucking asses out. Don't let them talk to you like that. And don't, whatever you do, work on your game face so that you don't let them see that they hurt you. Because they get off on that shit. So if they hurt your feelings, you keep your face straight. I'm telling you, the best thing in the world for a woman to do is learn how to play poker. Play poker. That your expression will never change. But inside, you will be keeping your words together. You inside your mind, you'll be going like this. I'm ready to roast your ass, but your expression will stay exactly the same. You won't blink. You won't smile. Your eyes won't twitch. There will be no tails. That's what they call it in poker, a tail. Because certain people do certain things. They see twitches or certain movement patterns and everything. And if you're a very observant person, you can see their tails when they have a good hand. You can tell when they bluffing. Okay, so you have to get your game face on, and then you proceed to give him some of what he gave you with your face straight. So he doesn't get the joy of knowing he hurt your feelings. That's why they do that shit. They want to see you crumble. It brings these sad, sorry, empty, dried up, dark pits of the soul kind of men great joy to think that they hurt you. You don't let them have that pleasure. All right. So let me see here. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, that's for the end of the show today. But come back. I think I'm gonna try. If I don't make it tomorrow, I will definitely be here on Saturday, and we'll be doing some questions and advice questions and things. And then on the 14th, I'm doing the chat for the Patreon subscribers. It's a private chat. I'll be sending all of you invitations about that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming and sitting in with me. Deb Cooper signing out.